Moment of truth, will they reset? No, they actually don't reset. That's pretty good to know. Nice to see puzzles that actually have memory, I guess. So, one more floor up. Totally not suspicious corridor at all, but there wasn't a ceiling peon in here. But also, there's a totally not suspicious at all glint on that desk, which obviously means there is going to be something important to get there. Actually, yeah, that was what I was going to do. I'm going to go ahead and take... Bag limits! Yeah, that's something that existed back in Gen 3 that doesn't really anymore. I suppose I should just use some vitamins. Who wants more HP? Let's give you more HP, because you kind of need it. I suppose if I give you... Let's switch those. Do I have any more things I can just get out of my inventory? More vitamins? Yes, I do. Okay, let's go ahead and use some of these. And now I switch you with the experience share. I should probably deposit some of these into the item PC now that I think about it. And I will use this rare candy to give you the final level you need. Yep, there we go. I calculated right. A very late evolution, but now I have a very good tank on my side. Well, I guess in technical Pokemon terms it would be a wall, because it can't really do much damage. Oh yeah, Shadow Punch. In most situations, Shadow Ball is better. Also, this is not a Shadow move. It has perfect accuracy, though, as in it always hits even if they have evasion modifiers, but it's only 60 power, and yeah, with Shadow Ball also being physical in this gen. Oh yeah, by the way, Mild is actually minus defense plus special attack, I think, so it's not the best nature for Dusclops, but still, as you can see here, pretty good defenses. Actually, that special defense is the best stat that I have on any Pokemon here. But very slow and not that much HP, and kind of bad-ish attacking stats. But yeah, you are really over-leveled for where I am, so I'm probably going to not use you for a little bit. Who needs experience more? Let me just quickly check. Everyone's kind of even. Guess I could use Orson a little bit more now. I am curious about those two, Before that, I'm gonna get ambushed by a ceiling peon. Scipion Cleto, who has Absol and Smeagol. Well, I'm glad that I've got Breloom here, because the Smeagol's probably going to go down to a single Mach Punch. As for the Absol, its defenses are frail enough that Orson should be able to one-shot it. So let's see. Let's go for Mach Punch on the Smeagol and return on the Absol. I feel like Mach Punch might have a shot of one-shotting the Absol too, but... And yeah, there goes Smeagol. I guess we'll never know what moveset that it had. But I mean, it was probably something dumb, considering that the AI doesn't really know how to use Smeagol properly. Donphan! Oh, what I wouldn't give for Seed Bomb on Breloom now. Still find Absol's attacking animations pretty funny. It just walks back and wiggles its rear like that. Well, I can Mach Punch you and... I'm gonna go ahead and switch out for Fish Slayer here, because Donphan is pretty physically bulky. Until I made its bio, I didn't really know its exact stats. I knew its general specialization, but kind of interesting to find out that it was very, very similar to Sandslash in terms of overall role. I feel like if I ever replayed XD someday, I'd want to use a Donphan on my main team. Oh, of course I send out Sharpedo right as you use an electric type. Fury attack. Don't know why that uses the rolling animation, but, I love when something activates just partway through a multi-hit move. But let's see what we do here. Let's just go ahead and Mach Punch you, and let's Water Pulse the Donphan. I don't think the Water Pulse is going to one-shot it. And that was very, very far from one-shotting. So we'll see how this unfolds. Also, Ampharos is a Pokemon that I could have been using on my main team, but I'm actually kind of glad that I went with Dusclops because, yeah, you do see people use Ampharos quite often, and Dusclops is not a Pokemon you see as often. I mean, I don't like mentioning other, like, other playthroughs or other... Well, I mean, I do reference them occasionally, but, I don't like directly mentioning them very much, because I like my playthroughs to sort of stand alone, but I will say, I think from what I read, Chugga considered using Dusclops in 2 different playthroughs and only finally got around to doing it in Platinum. I wonder if XD was one of those games. To me, it feels like maybe it was, because it's a game where Dusclops is easily obtainable, it has a very good exclusive move, and it fills a good role of a tank. So, yeah, anyway, Cotton Spore. Well, not really going to be well, not going to be doing that much to me, because I am already using a priority move, and... Tentacruel. Okay, let's just focus on getting rid of the Ampharos, although you do have a light screen up. Yeah, Tentacruel plus light screen equals don't use any special attacks on me, please, at all. So, I'm gonna probably switch out and go for either... Yeah, actually, probably Awesome is the best, because you've got a stab physical move that isn't resisted. At least I got rid of you before you Thunderbolted Fish Slayer. Sorry about that, but your incredible stupidity at still having Constrict this late into the game shocked me into silence for an entire turn. So, for that, I am going to hit you with an extremely powerful return that will devastate you and will hopefully shock you out of ever using Constrict ever again, because Constrict is, in my opinion, the worst attacking move in all of Pokemon, and one of the worst moves in all of Pokemon, period. And you didn't even have any Shadow Pokemon, so that was kind of pointless. Are you trying to imitate Lavrina or something? Lavrina probably does have a fan club within Cypher. Speaking of which, those 2 ladies in suits over there... I have a feeling they're probably Cypher Peons in disguise. Let's see. Hi there. You could say that. We have met, but, I am here to take him down. You. Kinda weird that you 2 people are even in Cypher to begin with, but oh well. Okay, that is immediately getting used, so it doesn't clog up space in my bag. I learned that the hard way, and I'm not going to make that mistake twice, so... Yeah, let's give you more HP. Because, like I said, you definitely need it. Sealing Peon number 2. Still love that line, though. Flippus. The names is getting weirder and weirder. Chimecho and Kecleon. Yet more kind of gimmicky Gen 3 Pokemon that aren't all that great. Kecleon for being invisible in places, and Chimecho for having a ridiculously low encounter rate. I guess I can... That's a good ability to trace, though. I guess something that I can say about Kecleon is that I can't be the only one who, when they first played, I thought that if you knocked out all of the invisible Kecleons, that was it. There were no more Kecleons in the game, so you had to make sure to catch at least one of them. Which I did, but I was kind of worried for people who didn't. But then it turns out you can actually find them in grass. They're just quite rare, but you can still find them in grass. So I'm glad they did that, because otherwise, yeah, people who didn't catch any of the invisible Kecleons would be screwed over. But there are actually a few invisible Kecleons that locations aren't entirely obvious. Oh, I just gave you stab on that, didn't I? Well, it's not really going to help you because you used it on a not very effective Pokemon, but still. Thank you for not confusing me, that would have been embarrassing. But yeah, I remember, like, it was like almost a year later I was playing like either Ruby or Emerald and I ran into an invisible Kecleon and I was like, oh, there's an invisible Kecleon here. Never knew that. I think that was the one that was, like, really close to the entrance to 4 Tree, in between a couple of trees, and near one of the ninja boys. But it's, like, in a little, like, tiny dead end that you would have no business going into ever, so you can't really blame me for not finding that Kecleon. And if anything, that's a good thing, because it means that in case you need one and didn't catch it in the others, there's an invisible Kecleon that's a little harder to find that you might run into later. Anyway, though, yeah, I need that Mighty Anna to be gone now. Looks like you don't have any Shadow Pokemon either. Well, I mean, we just got done with a trainer who had 2, so I guess it makes sense that we're seeing less of them here. Force and Smash! And no Crunch for you, because... Do you have it at this level? I seem to remember Mighty Anna doesn't learn Crunch until really late. I also seem to remember that Noctowl is stuck with Confusion for ages and doesn't learn Psychic until really late. It's not even that good with Psychic to begin with, but, anyway, let's just, give it a Thunderbolt. That was probably a terrible impression, but, yeah, Yeah, admittedly, what the anime did with Lieutenant Surge wasn't nearly as weird as what it did with Sabrina. I mean, I know a lot of people love Anime Sabrina. I personally really didn't like Anime Sabrina because Game Sabrina had no creepy or morally ambiguous qualities at all, and they made her, yeah, really, really insane in the anime. I didn't particularly like that. Now, I feel like... Yes, okay, I recognize the name Targ. You definitely have Shadow Pokemon. Ninetales and Jumpluff, though. Well, I guess you're probably going to go for Sun. Of course, you go for Sun and I send out Fish... Well, now's a great opportunity. Well, also, I kind of want you to set up Sunny Day now. Actually, yeah, I was going to try and one-shot you with Ice Beam as revenge for all the times that happened to my Jumpluff in Colosseum. Is this mirror as Jumpluff's, like, little portrait there in the window actually different in XD? Interesting. Oh, also, speaking of different in XD, look closely at Jumpluff's shadow. Couldn't really get a good look at it there, but anyway. Yeah, I'm actually going to not faint... although maybe the Ninetales is going to be the one who uses... I'll just go for the Ice Beam anyway. So, look closely at Jumpluff's shadow here. You might not be able to see it through the Ice Beams, but... Yeah, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! They're round! The shadow is actually round now! Like, the shadows of Jumpluff's pom-poms are not square anymore. So, yeah, XD did actually improve the graphics in some not-so-obvious ways. Imprison has some niche strategies to it in doubles, but I doubt it'll ever be worth my while during the main story, so no Imprison. Azumarill. Well, that's something that's not going to like Sunny Day. Come on, Ninetales, please. Tail Whip? Tail Whip. Really? I mean, it does at least hit both opponents, but I was really hoping for Sunny Day. Oh well, I guess. But I guess I get to try out Thunderbolt more. Not going to Water Pulse the Azumarill, obviously. It's kind of weird. Ninetales' move pool isn't that terrible, but I find that a lot of AI trainers are just stuck with a lot of its really basic moves for a long time. But we have now sniped the Ninetales. Would have been even better if that had Drought in this generation, because then Lyra would have traced Chlorophyll just as Drought went up, and that would have been amazing. But oh well. I mean, this isn't a particularly amazing move, but it is a physical move, and you are highly lacking in physical moves. But here's the thing, like, I like having Water Pulse because it's good against rock types. I like having Crunch because it's good against things weak to Dark. I like having Ice Beam. I mean, I like having Protect, but, I guess I'll get rid of Protect for now. I can very easily reteach that, though, because you can buy TMs and Protect, so if I need that later in the game, I'll get it back. For now, though, I just want to see how much better Fish Slayer does with an actual physical move. But now we have Tangela, who looks pretty bad in this game, but it's a Shadow Pokemon. So, yet more Gen 1 Pokemon. Tangela was kind of interesting in Gen 1. It was only found in that weird patch of grass near Pallet Town. which I think in Gen 3 you could find Mr. Mimes there. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like that was the case. But I know that in Gen 1 that was the only place you get Tangela. For some reason in my mind I kept thinking Tangela was a Safari Zone Pokemon, but I mean, it is in Platinum, I think, but not in Gen 1. Okay, now is the point where I actually wish that I still had Protect, because I don't want to be attacking that slot, because I think another Shadow Pokemon is going to come out there. And I know you have two, I've just kind of forgotten what your other one was. Because I know that there are some other Shadow Pokemon in here, but I know they don't come until later. And I know that we can't get any of their pre-evolve forms, because, well, we get their evolve forms later. So let's see what you got. Butterfree! Okay, yeah, that is the other Shadow Pokemon that I was forgetting about. So yeah, we got a Butterfree here. Yes, this is the first time we're seeing Shadow Rave, the upgraded version of Shadow Wave, but it's still not particularly strong. It's 70 power, but because it attacks both targets, it has its power reduced, and in general, it's not really the best move. Who do I want to shut down more? Like, I'm not really sure. Actually, if I sing the Butterfree, I could probably get it out of the way with a netball almost immediately. I think I'll just have Fish Slayer stay in and just Water Pulse the Tangela. Poor Tangela. Tangela was a Pokemon that suffered really badly by the split between, Special Attack and Special Defense, because, back in Gen 1 it had 100 Special, which was actually pretty decent, but then it got the split, and, they put the 100 Special in Special Attack, and its Special Defense became abysmal. I think I got that right. I'm pretty sure, because I know that, like, I know that Tangrowth is a pretty decent Chlorophyll Sweeper. I actually really like Tangrowth, although, admittedly, I like a lot of, I'll just go for slowly weakening it. Admittedly, I like a lot of Gen 4 evolutions of earlier Gen Pokemon. But yeah, Tangrowth is kind of cool, and I find it a little bit underrated sometimes. One, two, three. Butterfree gets. Butterfree is notable for two things. The first is making everyone cry in the anime, but the second is Compound Eye's Sleep Powder. With the Compound Eye's ability, which you're thankfully guaranteed to get in this generation, Sleep Powder gains almost perfect accuracy, making it a fantastic status move. The problem with Butterfree is that aside from Compound Eye's Sleep Powder, there's really not that much that it's good for. It does come with some pretty good moves in this game. Psychic on Purification is kinda nice, Aerial Ace is alright, and Morning Sun as an XD exclusive move gives you some nice recovery. Although I wouldn't recommend transferring this Butterfree to a later generation, because in those games, Butterfree gained a far superior healing move in Roost. Butterfree is just let down by its stats overall. Now, in many Pokemon games, you get Butterfree very early, and it evolves insanely early, and its stats are very good for the standards of early in the game. In XD though, you get it much later, around the point where stats like this are just not impressive anymore. As a result, this Butterfree becomes a lot like the Paras that you can catch earlier in the Cypher Key lair. It's all about high accuracy sleep moves, and there's really nothing else good going for it. For level up moves, Butterfree doesn't get much notable that it didn't already start with. You've got Safeguard, and then you have Silverwind at level 47, which is normally a good thing, especially since very few bug types learn it in Gen 3, but it's physical in this gen, and that doesn't work too well with Butterfree. TM moves has some kind of amusing options. Butterfree learns both Rain Dance and Sunny Day, and you can go for a Sunny Day Solar Beam combo if you want. It also has Giga Drain for a grass move that doesn't require sun to be up. Tutor moves is where things get very interesting though. With such a reliable sleep move, Butterfree makes fairly good use of Dream Eater and Nightmare. As hilarious as the concept of a butterfly giving things horrible nightmares sounds. I guess it gives them visions of the Bog Beast or something. So overall, Butterfree is good for putting things to sleep and really not much else. And you have to ask yourself if that's worth it considering that you can catch a Pokemon with Spore earlier in the Cypher Key lair. So, just one left. Actually, not getting that unlucky with Sing here. I'm kind of glad that I kept Sing, because even though its accuracy is terrible, it is a sleep move. Although, once Gardevoir gets higher level, then I'm gonna have to give it up entirely, because, yeah, it helps during the main story, but it's a terrible XD exclusive move, because, like I said in the bio, Gardevoir already learns a better version of it anyway in Hypnosis. One. Kinda had a feeling you'd break out of that. I still find it funny with Hypnosis how it's the only move to get its accuracy both buffed and nerfed in the same generation, because Diamond and Pearl buffed it up to 70 accuracy, and then they realized, yeah, that probably wasn't such a good idea, and they nerfed it back down again. Speaking of not such a good idea, look at how bad Tangela looks there. Yeah, reused N64 models, don't you love them? I certainly don't. Anyway, let's see if we can catch the Tangela now. 1, 2, 3. Tangela gets. Tangela is a very strange Pokemon. It has really high defense and special attack, but very bad stats elsewhere. As I said in the video itself, Tangela probably suffered the most from the transition between Red and Blue to Gold and Silver, in that it used to have 100 special, meaning effectively 100 base special defense, and it got dropped down to only 40. Tangela did get a much needed evolution in Gen 4, but the weird thing is, Tangela itself is actually not that horrible of a Pokemon. To give you an idea, while Tangela has always been in the lower tiers in competitive play, it's consistently been considered a very, very good Pokemon within those low tiers, which is actually saying something. It even managed to get itself banned from Little Cup after it gained an evolution. So, let's talk about what Tangela can do for you in this game. Its ability Chlorophyll is actually not bad with a base 60 speed stats. You can outspeed a surprising number of things with the Sun up. And Sun becomes the main focus of Tangela's moveset after Purification. But before that, I just want to mention that Tangela is the first thing besides the Shadow Togepi, which is pretty terrible at using this move, to have Shadow Rave, the upgraded version of Shadow Wave. It's still not the best move, because even though it has 75 base power, it's being shared across 2 targets, but it's still a step up from Shadow Wave, and Tangela has a decent special attack stat to use it with. On Purification though, it's all about the Sun. You regain Sunny Day, Ingrain, Solar Beam, and also your XD exclusive move, Morning Sun. Morning Sun heals more HP during sunny weather, turning Tangela into a pretty decent physical tank. I should mention though, this is not a good move to transfer to later generations, because there, Tangela gained access to Synthesis via Move Tutor, which is pretty much the exact same as Morning Sun. So this XD exclusive move is not special anymore. For level up moves, I would highly recommend paying the move relearner to teach Sleep Powder. With Chlorophyll up, Tangela makes a pretty good status user. There's also Growth, bear in mind that's only a +1 to special attack in Gen 3, but it is still your only boosting option. Also, as strange as it may sound, Tickle is actually a decent move, lowering the target's attack and defense. Tangela's main weakness though is that it doesn't learn very much other than grass moves. Look at that barren list of notable TM moves that I've got there. Just Toxic and Giga Drain. Giga Drain is an option if you want a stab grass move that doesn't require the sun to be up. For tutor moves, I wouldn't really recommend Body Slam on Double Edge because of your only 55 base attack stat, and you also have Swagger, but I still don't think it's that great. Really, this Tangela is all about dishing out grass damage during the sun, and not really all that much else. And the C-Dot that you can get earlier in the game is arguably a better Chlorophyll sweeper. Still, of all the grass types you could be using, Tangela's surprisingly not as bad as it may seem at first, so definitely give it a try if you want. As I was kind of saying before, I find the name of its evolution in Japanese to be pretty funny, Mojumbo. We're getting a lot of Shadow Pokemon filling out our PC now. And so the stairs are over there. But we can go in here and just check out what this scientist is doing. Although I feel like we're going to have to battle him. They wouldn't make you battle a lady in suit with Cypher, but they are going to make you battle Cypher-affiliated Psy, and don't want to save yet. Just look how much my Shadow Pokemon total has been inflated now, though. But yeah, a lot of evil teams use Scientists. I have said this before, but that's probably because the Scientist class in Japanese was called... Oh, I forgot that Snidel was here! Well, I'm sorry, but it already is. So, let's fight Wannabe Fi. I forgot you were here. Let's do this. We were promised to fight with him earlier, but he just... Oh, I knew someone in here used this strategy, but I forgot it was you. Thankfully, I had just the right Pokemon in the lead. Oh... Yeah, you are a jerk. You're an absolute jerk. So, yeah, for those who don't know, that Wobbuffet prevents you from switching. And that means that if neither of your Pokemon have any moves that can hurt Shedinja, you just have to sit here and wait for both your Pokemon to faint, because there's nothing you can do. That is a real jerk move. I'm going to go ahead and use Shadow Ball just because Fire Blast could miss, but yeah. I knew there was somebody in Cypher Key Layer who did this, I just forgot where they were exactly. Yeah, you're probably one of the most trollish random trainers in this game. Guess it fits with you being like an analytical strategist, though. But, yeah, let's just semi-incapacitate this Wobbuffet. I mean, it's kind of pointless since most of Wobbuffet's moves are guaranteed to go last anyway. But, still... You know, I suppose we can use the tried and true tactic of gang up on everything that isn't the Wobbuffet. That way it can't hurt you. Just like I did back in Colosseum a lot. Although, you may want to gang up on the Wobbuffet if you've got Pokemon that can't hurt Shedinja in play, because if you get rid of it, you actually will be able to switch. This is a pretty jerkish fight, though. Magneton. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, that's the Shadow Magneton. I knew there was a Shadow Magneton in here, but I thought it was on the roof. Maybe I should get rid of the Wobbuffet now. I'm going to go ahead and Stun Spore you and... I don't think Shadow Ball is going to one-shot, we can see. Okay, yeah, Shadow Rave coming from Magneton is going to be a lot stronger than from other things. But still, the fact that it hits both targets, 70 power is not good for a move that hits 2 targets, so... Well, I mean, I suppose Rock Slide is kind of like that, but a lot of Pokemon are 4 times weak to Rock, and it has the flinch chance, so that makes it a much better move. At least I'm not missing the Stun Spore very much now. Of course you would go for that, and that's bye-bye Lavertine. Sorry about that. Whenever you're facing an AI Wobbuffet, it's always a guessing game when it comes to which counter they use, because it's pretty much random. Okay, Magneton is on the field. Who do I go for here? I suppose I can go for Orson. But yeah, it is generally pretty random what they go for. There is a battle CD that involves having to quote-unquote out-predict a Wobbuffet, and yeah, against the AI, it's mainly a matter of just getting lucky. Okay, let's just get rid of you, and then the Magneton is going to be kind of annoying because either I use not very effective moves and it takes forever, or I don't and the Magneton goes down because Magneton doesn't really like super effective moves very much. Especially not things like Fire Blast. I still find the way that Magneton looks in this game to be really, really weird, though. This is, I think, one of the few depictions of Magneton where the Magnemites aren't directly linked, and they join up during attacks, but not when it's just, you know, randomly idling. I kind of want to use Return here, but on the other hand, I don't think a crit is going to KO it, but I really hope that I'm not speaking too soon. That False Swap actually did a bit more than I thought it would. Please don't get a critical or anything like... No. Oh! Oh! That was... I thought that was going to be my first fail channel right there. I seriously thought that was going to happen. You know what? Just false swipe for good measure, and go for the Ultra Ball. Oh, wow, that was close. That was really close. I've actually got surprisingly lucky with snags this whole playthrough, I'll just say. 1, 2, 3... Magneton get! Magneton has a 0% chance of evolving in this generation. Despite this, if you do not currently have an electric type, there is around a 60% chance this Magneton may be of use to you. In some regards, Magneton's efficiency is greater than that of its evolution. For example, Magneton is roughly 16.6% faster than its future evolved form. Magneton's greatest asset lies in its exceedingly high special attack stat, and its type combination shared with 0% of other Pokemon evolutionary families, affording it the highest number of resistances of any Pokemon. And while in this current generation, the Sturdy ability has an approximately 2% chance of being useful, Magneton has become renowned for its Magnet Pull ability, which allows it to act as the ultimate Skarmory deterrent in competitive environments, capable of dealing up to 152% damage to Skarmory. However, as the Cypher organization primarily consists of idiots who do not switch out their Pokemon, there is only a 5% chance this ability will see use in the hands of one using this Magneton against Cypher. This Shadow Magneton has an unusual property. It possesses 3 Shadow moves, a trait shared by only 29% of all currently produced Shadow Pokemon, and only 6% among those Shadow Pokemon not owned by Cypher admins. The rare move Shadow Sky aids in teams that consist primarily of Shadow Pokemon. If this Magneton were to be somehow purified, this move would be replaced with Rain Dance, causing its final move Thunder to operate with 25% more accuracy. It is difficult to comprehend, however, why one would wish to do this, when, in its Shadow state, it can use the move Shadow Rave, Magneton's special attack making this move 88% more effective. This effectiveness would be enhanced if this Magneton were to be taken to someone capable of move relearning services, where it may be taught the move Metal Sound, a move that lowers the victim's special defense by 100%. Magneton is also capable of learning the move Lock On, which ensures any attack hits with 100% accuracy. This move is mainly useful to people like me who like percentages so much, especially when combined with the move Zap Cannon, which normally only has 50% accuracy, but when combined with Lock On, not only will it hit 100% of the time, it will also cause paralysis 100% of the time. That is 2 100%. I like that, because I like percentages. One unfortunate downside of the Magneton species, especially those found within the Hoenn, Kanto, or Ore regions, is the fact that they learn 0 worthwhile moves outside of the electric type. This Shadow Magneton was given the held item Metal Coat. I do not comprehend this decision from my bosses, because this item has a 0% chance of being useful, as this Magneton will never learn any offensive Steel-type moves. As such, Hidden Power is the only option for those wishing to have moves besides the electric type on a Magneton. However, the chances of Hidden Power achieving a usable type are, I don't want to calculate that percentage, but it is very, very low. Intelligence has pinpointed a teacher lady within Agate Village who may increase this Magneton's potential through the move Thunder Wave. We must consider this possibility. In summary, I believe the creation of this Shadow Magneton will increase Cypher's chances of world domination by approximately 70%. Oh, that was closer than I hoped it would be, because I haven't actually saved since the first floor. So that would have gone very badly. Like, I would have had to restart all of this if I had failed that snag. Anyway, let's see what you were guarding. 1 system lever. Yes, Australians say lever and not lever. But, yeah. That will be important later. For now, though... I need to go back and heal, but... I should probably talk to you. You know, that's interesting. This is a direct parallel to the Purify Chamber now that I think about it. Yeah, I thought you battled me. Okay, yeah, might as well finish off this floor's trainers. Before moving on, Ariados and... I really wish I had Lapis in here, but oh well. Let's just get through this as quickly as possible, because you obviously don't have any Shadow Pokemon, because you're not a required trainer. Yeah, the Hexagon Brothers are some of the few optional trainers who have Shadow Pokemon, but anyway... don't want to get Psychicked. I'm going to go ahead and switch out. I know you'd all love to see me use my new Dusclops, but you've got 5 Pokemon? Well, that's annoying. But yeah, I don't want... yeah, Dusclops is already over-leveled as she is. Skahar, should I say. Yeah, Again, nicknaming Pokemon doesn't come naturally to me, so you'll often see me just referring to Pokemon by their species names and not nicknames. Well, keep sending in more things weak to Psychic. I'll just keep knocking them out of the park. I mean, it wasn't Psychic, but it was at least, Everyone in here! Seriously, you all need to go back to Type Matchup School. Although this could be bad, because Lyra is now confused. To use trading card terminology. It's kind of funny how, due to the card game using coin flips, a lot of the status effects have a much greater chance of happening in the card game than they do in the video games. I mean, something with a 50% chance of confusion would be pretty unheard of in the many video games. Well, Orson's not going to like that. Lyra's pretty much fine with it. And now that Giraffe is the fastest thing on the field. That is a weird sentence. Like I said, Orson is not going to like that, because that would have one-shotted if it weren't for that. Forgot I had Rest. Don't know if I'll need to use it or not. Yeah, let's try and get rid of the Stantler. I think Girafarig's physical attack is not that bad. It's times like these when I wish Girafarig was a Shadow Pokemon in either game, so I'd actually made a bio on it, and thus would actually know its stats, because I don't really know Girafarig's stats off the top of my head. It's weird. It feels like there should have been a Shadow Girafarig in Colosseum, but they just... Flinch Confusion. Well, that's just great, isn't it? I probably should use items here, but... Yeah, I'll go for you. The Girafarig being faster, I think, is probably a bigger priority target here. But mostly, I just want to get this battle out of the way as soon as possible. Good, you didn't come right into a Psychic move. You came right into a Stomp. It's not that often you see Effect Spore cause Sleep. I probably should full restore you now that I think about it. Stantler also has a pretty big move pool, and it actually has okay stats in both physical and special attack, so can use its move pool decently well, I'll give it that. Maybe I should save my full restores for a really important fight. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have done that because the Girafarig was asleep anyway, but you know the AI, they like to wake up in one turn. And Granville. So, most things on your team are weak to either Psychic or Fighting. You have 2 things with Intimidate. Seriously, you should be snapping out of Confusion anytime now. Really? And you got rid of my Muck Punch user, so I can't just quickly finish you off. That is very unfortunate. So instead, I will use the fastest Pokemon on my team to attempt to quickly finish you off. Actually, let's just go for Slash. And I may not want to use my full restores, but I'm going to just go ahead and use a Moon Milk because I don't want Lyra going down. After this, I will try Slash on the Granville and see how well that does. I mean, Stab Crunch coming off of my special attack stat is probably going to do more, but I mean, at least this is a physical move. And yeah, that is how much Pokemon tend to like Special Bite. I think only Houndoom really appreciated Bite and Crunch being special. Well, Tyranitar in some ways too. Granbull still has a pretty weird getting hit animation. Still confused? This has gone on for a really long time. Speaking of which, this battle also did, but it's now over. So, yeah, good riddance to this scientist. And after this, I will go back and heal. And I think I'll end this part. So, we'll be going up the stairs next time. It's actually kind of funny, given a certain other playthrough of this game. Oh, that's not good. Well, not really. I've already caught the majority of the Shadow Pokemon in here, and next time we'll be catching even more. So, see you next time for what I believe is the roof. So, I will see you then.